Most people think morning coffee is a harmless little ignition key. Wake up, drink it, become human. But that is not what is happening inside you. If coffee lands in an empty body every morning, it is not just flipping on alertness. It can be pressing on stomach acid, stress hormones, gut movement, heartburn, and in some people, even the way morning blood sugar behaves. And the most dangerous part is how normal it feels while it's doing it. Your body already has its own built-in sunrise alarm. In the first stretch after waking, cortisol rises fast to pull you out of sleep and prepare you for action. That is not a flaw. That is biology doing its job. Now drop caffeine on top of that, and the message gets louder. Even in daily coffee drinkers, the cortisol response is reduced but not gone. So if your mornings already feel like a sprint before your feet hit the floor, coffee on an empty stomach can make the engine rev harder before the machine is actually ready to move. That can feel like motivation at first. Sometimes it's just chemically polished tension. Then there's the stomach, where the romance gets less poetic. Coffee does not just arrive as a warm, comforting ritual. It stimulates digestive activity. That includes stomach acid, bile, and pancreatic secretion, and movement through the colon. In plain language, it tells the digestive tract to get to work. If there is food there, that signal may be handled smoothly. If there is nothing there, some people feel the raw edge of it far more clearly. Burning, nausea, cramping, that sudden bathroom urgency, that weird hollow shakiness that feels like hunger and nerves had a child together. Coffee on an empty stomach does not magically drill holes in your stomach, and it does not, by itself, prove that damage is happening. But for sensitive people, it can turn a peaceful morning into a chemical shove. Now comes the twist that catches people who say, "I've done this for years and I'm fine." You might be fine in the dramatic sense, but fine is not the same as unaffected. If you're prone to reflux, coffee can be one of those quiet triggers that keeps reopening the same trap door. Heartburn is not just heat, it's acid where acid doesn't belong. The lower gate between your stomach and esophagus is supposed to help keep that acid down. When reflux is already part of your story, caffeine and coffee are common symptom triggers, and drinking coffee with a little food may reduce how fiercely the stomach pushes back. So no, coffee on an empty stomach is not a universal villain, but if you keep getting that throat burn, chest heat, sour taste, or upper belly discomfort, your morning cup may not be innocent just because it's familiar. And then we get to blood sugar, which is where morning coffee gets more deceptive. Over the long run, habitual coffee drinking is often linked with a lower risk of type 2 diabetes. That's the headline people love. But short-term physiology can tell a rougher story. Acute caffeine intake has been shown to reduce insulin sensitivity in healthy subjects, which means your body may handle glucose less efficiently for a while after you drink it. For many healthy adults, caffeine may not cause a dramatic blood sugar problem in everyday life, but if you're already insulin resistant, already watching your glucose, or already living on that edge where breakfast gets skipped and stress runs the schedule, coffee on an empty stomach can become part of a morning pattern that feels like sharp energy, followed by irritability, cravings, and a crash that shows up later wearing a different outfit. That's why this habit can mess with your appetite in such a sneaky way. At first, coffee may seem like it kills hunger. You feel focused, faster, less interested in food, maybe even proud of it. But sometimes that's not control. Sometimes that's stimulation overriding your signals. The body postpones the bill. Later, hunger returns sharper, judgment gets weaker, and now you're not choosing food from a calm place, you're negotiating with a system that's been running hot and underfed. This is where a lot of people mistake stress chemistry for discipline. The morning cup makes them feel clean and sharp, and then by midday, the body starts collecting what it's owed in cravings, irritability, or overeating. The irony is brutal. The drink that felt like control may have been renting energy you had to repay with interest, and now it gets worse for a very specific group of people. If you're anxious by nature, prone to panic, light sleep, a racing heart, or that strange sense that your mind wakes up already halfway into an argument with the day, empty stomach coffee can hit like a false emergency. Too much caffeine is well known to trigger anxiety, faster heart rate, restlessness, and sleep disruption in susceptible people. And susceptibility is not just about attitude, genetics matter. Variants in genes tied to caffeine metabolism and adenosine signaling can change how strongly caffeine hits your brain and how likely it is to trigger anxiety. So when one person drinks coffee and feels inspired, while another feels like their nervous system just got trapped in a stairwell, that's not weakness, that's biology, temperament, and timing colliding before breakfast. And this is the part nobody likes hearing. If you're pregnant, highly caffeine sensitive, living with reflux, gastritis, dyspepsia, panic symptoms, or glucose issues, the margin for pretending gets smaller. Pregnancy guidelines from ACOG say moderate caffeine under 200 milligrams a day does not appear to be a major contributor to miscarriage or preterm birth, but that's still a lower ceiling than for most other adults. For healthy adults in general, the FDA says up to 400 milligrams a day is usually not associated with negative effects, but that number is not a permission slip for your particular body. A person with a calm stomach, steady sleep, and low anxiety is not playing the same game as a person whose mornings already feel inflamed, wired, and unstable. Same coffee, different battlefield. So what's the smart move if coffee is one of the few things standing between you and hating humanity before 9 in the morning? It's not necessarily to quit, it's to stop using coffee like a first strike weapon against your own biology. Start with water. Give your body something to wake up on besides alarm and ambition. If coffee keeps causing heat, nausea, jitters, or that shaky, hollow feeling, try putting even a small amount of real food in front of it, especially something with protein, fiber, or fat. If reflux is your issue, that buffer matters. If anxiety is your issue, dose matters. If blood sugar is your issue, context matters. And if you keep needing more coffee just to feel normal, your body may be trying to tell you that the problem is no longer energy, it's load, because this was never really just about coffee. It was about whether your morning routine is supporting your body or quietly cornering it. A habit can feel comforting and still be costing you. A ritual can look productive while it slowly trains your system to wake up under pressure, digest under irritation, and perform before it's fed. For some people, empty stomach coffee is perfectly tolerable. For others, it's a daily rehearsal of stress disguised as wellness. The difference isn't hype, the difference is how your biology responds when stimulation arrives before support. So if your morning coffee makes you feel sharp, calm, and fine, good. Pay attention and keep it honest. But if it leaves you burning, rattled, starving, anxious, crashing, or weirdly unwell in ways you keep excusing because everybody drinks coffee, stop calling that normal. Familiar is not the same as harmless. Your body is not being dramatic. It's sending dispatches from the inside. And the earlier you listen, the less often you have to learn the same lesson through fatigue, reflux, cravings, and a nervous system that starts every day like it's late for a fire. If this hit close to home, drop your morning coffee routine in the comments. Tell me what it actually does to your body. And if you want, I'll do the next deep dive on what happens when you delay caffeine, eat before it, or quit it for a full month.